r/AskReddit. Zelau City Lad 3609 says. Divorcees of Reddit, when did you know your marriage was over? Life happens every month says. When we sat down as a couple and agreed we could not afford a new car, then 2 days later he bought the new car he agreed we couldn't afford. I came home from work that night ready to argue with him and suddenly realized he knew I would get angry and that was the price he was willing to pay to have the car. It took a few months to get the money to move out, but my marriage was over that night. Sad Astronaut 3308 says. When you took that time to get enough for yourself to move out, did he know what you were doing? Life happens every month says. He didn't know for sure until I told him directly, but I think that was because if he thought of it, he didn't believe it was happening. I moved out for real when he was not at home, but I hardly took anything except a dresser, a mirror that was in a closet and some books and my few clothes in my car. Pinotten War Mid Sizadka says. Not divorced, but I knew the end of my long-term common law relationship began when he said it's too bad your parents didn't love you enough when you were young, because if they had, then you'd be really awesome and I'd have no doubt. I actually wrote it as a note on my phone that night so that I wouldn't forget if he gaslit me into questioning whether he said it. I didn't need to. I can hear his voice saying it even now. After I had confided about how my parents treated me when I was very young, he liked to remind me that I was lucky that he kept me around despite my flaws. Disastrous Fault 9103 says. What a piece of shit. Mrapoletsky says. A massive gigantic piece of shit. Carrot BUTR not carrot THEOLA shit. Otherwise I'll eat carrot BER great. Tasty_hospital_5723 says. When her Apple Watch went off and I read the words your conch was so frickin' wet for me last night. When can I see you again? Alafid says. Lol, when she asked me, was checking her email for a confirmation we were waiting on. I saw a subject message I think we need to stop seeing each other. Laximium Effort says. Ouch. Appropriate Diver 855 says. I went to a distant relative's wedding and I thought they love each other so much and I don't love my husband like that. No cheating, no abuse. We barely ever fought because we barely interacted. I went home and told him I'd like a divorce and he replied yay, okay. Divorce was easy because we had nothing together. He even helped me move my things to a new house, so there's no bad blood at all. Just didn't love each other. Jamhamate says. We've lived the same life it seems. He said the same exact words to me. No bad blood, but no real closure sucks. The Voss Lost Finger says. Most conversations turned into an argument. They became more distant. Resentment had well and truly set in. Pinotten War Mid Sizadka says. I've yet to decide whether it's worse to feel resentment or to be the resented one. Luckily there are better questions to keep me up at night. Defiant_coconut_5361 says. Being resented is better. Carrying resentment will make you sick. Good luck. Electronic Plum 4472 says. I realized I was only happy when I was at work, was madly in love with a colleague, and that I ignored the guy every time we hung out with my dad to the point where I couldn't even remember if he was there. Also, my only reason for sticking around after a while was B/C I didn't want to be the girl who got divorced too quickly. Meanwhile, my ex was embarrassingly drunk at my dad's birthday, got trashed and violent a few weeks later at my birthday, and refused to go to marriage counseling. A coworker once said I was leaning toward my dad and away from my ex in every photo of the three of us. I thought that was a ed up thing to say until I checked for myself and my distaste for my ex was visible. Coded_artist says. I realized I was only happy when I was at work. Yeah, I realized the same when I got stressed driving home from school. My exams were meant to be the most stressful thing in my life, not my fianc. Rewritten next time says. He had a very unfortunate accident. He slipped and fell on random men's dicks while cross-dressing in different cities he was traveling to for work. I'd Kyle Mister says. Don't you hate it when that happens? Pantney Rian says. God damn. Jolyn Thurald says. When I found the text messages of him telling her he loved her and joking about my life insurance money. r/AskReddit. Can I outre Force says. What massively hyped thing actually lived up to its expectations? Old Morg says. Google Earth. International_pin 314 says. True. Calculating distances. High resolution. What else do we need? Chirirain 18 says. Having your own place to live without roommates. Lion 2710 says. Blue eye. No, I'm not joking, watch it RN. Thessangerine says. Working out consistently. Turns out, it feels really good to be healthy and active. And I'm not sad and scared all the time. They weren't kidding about that stuff too. Dash Cobb says. The Dark Knight. Snishintus says. Both Hubble and Kepler space telescopes. Deep field images showing thousands of galaxies in just a tiny patch of sky and the discovery of thousands of exoplanets that are so different from planets in our own solar system. What better could astronomers hope to find up there? Sully 245 says. The lot of movies. Milksha Kemila says. Owning an orange cat. Lizzie_of_Galter says. Baldur's Gate 3, I heard nothing but hype and it turned me away. Gave me zero hopes for it, but I was bored so gave it a go anyways. Every praise that game gets is not enough. Brief Blueberry 4196 says. LeBron James. No Comfortable 8905 says. Red Dead Redemption 2. Sharazamir says. First time I loaded up Google Earth on a tablet I knew I had officially reached living in the future status. Honk says. Minecraft, chocolate, using a sharp knife, after using a blunt one for 10 years. Excitable Seizure 63 says. Neighbors chilly. Moved in and everybody wouldn't shut up about this guy's chili. To the point it was annoying to hear about. The first cold day, that fall I had it. Holy shit, now I won't shut up about it. Edit, wow, this really blew up, the guy doesn't share his recipe, and I'm not sure really why. He's good about deflecting requests. He always says something funny like a little of this, a little of that, some frog nuts and cheap champagne. Lord Ihopatherisp says. The COVID pandemic. It went exactly how I expected. Athompson 9866 says. The first 6 seasons of GOT. Rivtum says. Smartphones. Global_box_3459 says. Mars Hall Mathers LP. Since_the_90s says. 1. Tablets 2. Penicillin 3. John Wick. Comprehensive Hornet 3 says. One Piece live action. It is dope. Dada Beer 2 says. Magic mushrooms 100%. I_am_edit_Tom says. Sex. Topman 20,000 says. Tile. I can keep track of my belongings with this. Captain Karma 95 says. Avengers Endgame. Gurmiaf Clash says. Taylor Swift concert. Blackman Batman says. Archer Hamada vs Shinobi Alliance. Azamandias Pedestal says. Messi transfer to Inter Miami. It has been an amazing ride so far. Ultra Hateful says. The PlayStation 2. It was the beginning of the current generation of leaps and bounds for consoles. Nerdita says. Avengers Endgame. Impossibly massive hype, and we still didn't realize it'd be as good as it was. A Shenraven66 says. Elden Ring and Armored Core 6. Social Justice Army Arwa says. Cyberpunk. Catcher Beatranin says. The McRib. Classical Fredo 8796 says. I didn't give enough credit to masturbating after smoking weed. Until I tried. Mrfesman says. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. Foxxxabri says. 1. Beyond Concert 2. LeBron James 3. The effects of global warming. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.